Today, I'd like to continue our journey through the book of Judges. We're in chapter 4 of that amazing book about these leaders that God raises up to help the people who are still battling back and forth with the Canaanites and different tribes. In chapter 4, we were learning about the judge Deborah and how she really helped the people. And she helped the people in the defeat of the opposing forces. And it's interesting that Sisera, the general that Deborah is fighting against, has this force of 900 and all these chariots, but the chariots get all fouled up in mud, and it's really kind of a back and forth there. But Sisera, it was predicted by Deborah, was going to die and face defeat at the hands of a woman. And so Sisera, at this point in the story, is in the tent of Jael, who is the wife of the Kenite Heber. Since the Kenites and Sisera, they were pretty much at peace. So Sisera figures, well, this is good. I'll go into the Kenite land. I'll go into this tent, and I'll be fine. Nothing will happen because we're at peace. Jael, however, interestingly now, kills Sisera by driving a peg from the tent through his temple while he was asleep. So there's Sisera. He's tired from the battle. He's had to run and get away from the mud and the chariots and everything that's going on. He thinks, oh, now finally, I'm at peace. I'm in this land. I'm going to be fine. And Jael sees him sleeping. And so she gets this one of the pegs from the tent there, and she drives the peg right through his temple while he was asleep. And Barak comes then and saw Sisera dead. He went on to defeat the Canaanite king Jabin. So Barak didn't have to kill Sisera. Sisera was killed as a result of the encounter with uh, Jael in the tent. So we get a sense here of women, and Deborah is a strong woman, Jael is a strong woman, and these women have a vital role to play. Deborah and Barak then in chapter 5 sing a song, and a song of rejoicing, this great victory, and they're so happy, and so they have this beautiful song that they sing. And tribes that helped in the fight are praised because many of the tribes helped and supported Deborah. However, those tribes that didn't help, they are condemned. So it goes back and forth. This tribe is great, it's wonderful, it helped us. This other tribe, though, they're not getting any praise. They didn't help us, so they're not good. The hero of the poem, very interestingly, though, is not Deborah, not Barak, not Jael. They're not the heroes of the poem. The hero of the poem is Yahweh. Yahweh accomplishes the victory through the forces of nature. So what they're realizing is that God is working here through nature. There was the sudden storm, and the sudden storm created the muddy conditions, and those muddy conditions destroyed the chariots. The advantage that the chariots had, the wheels would get stuck, and they couldn't really maneuver, and so they were defeated. They had the advantage with those great iron chariots. You figured, oh, no problem, they could win easily. But then, out of nowhere, the storm comes. And so when they reflected on it, when the Israelites reflected on it, they were saying, God is present. God is here. God is with us. God is helping us. We are not alone in these situations. So then in chapter 6, we get another group, Midian, and Midian is at war with the Israelites for 7 years. Oh my goodness, long time. And there was a large number of Midianites. They are described as the Midianites as numerous as locusts. So you get this picture of this huge number of Midianites. The Midianites were a nomadic people, and so they would travel from place to place, and they were thus used to moving quickly since they were nomadic. They weren't like settled in one area, but they would pick up their tents, go to another area. So the Midianites had the advantage of being able to move quickly. The Israelites at this time they're kind of more in villages, more settled, and so because of this, they couldn't respond as quickly, and they were at a big disadvantage as far as the Midianites were concerned. So an angel of the Lord then comes to Gideon, and God promises, I will assist you in this. So Gideon has this huge task now of taking on the Midianites. How is he going to do this? And the angel of the Lord told Gideon to destroy the altar that his father had built to the Baal, and to build a proper altar to the Lord. So here his own father had built this altar to worship Baal. And this is not appropriate, this is not right. So God says to Gideon, well, destroy that altar and build the altar that you should build to your God. Because this altar to Baal is an altar to a false god. This is not a good thing. So he destroyed it, and very interestingly, though, in terms of destroying it, right? He knows that people like this altar, they worship at this altar, they like Baal. So he does destroy it. He does follow what God says, but he destroys it at night, figuring, it's nighttime, nobody will know, I'll sneak around and do it at night. And he was afraid of the reaction to the destruction of the altar, not only of the people in the town, but even more importantly, his own family. Because who had built this altar? His father. So, here he is as a son going up against his father and brothers, sisters, other family members, cousins, all of these people that had followed in what his father had done in worshiping at this altar. Now they're going to be upset. So the townspeople, true to form, were upset. They get up in the morning and where's our altar? It's gone. It's destroyed right there. They're going crazy. They're upset. And what do they want to do? They want to kill Gideon. They figured it was Gideon who did it, so they want to kill him. And his father, Joash, said it was up to Baal to rebuild the altar, if he is truly a god. So there is Joash, his father, saying, well, Gideon destroyed it. He's my son. But it's going to be rebuilt. It's not going to be up to me to rebuild it, or my family, or even making Gideon do it. No. It's going to be up to Baal to rebuild the altar, because if he is truly a god, he will be able to rebuild the altar. So Gideon then was given the name Jerubbaal, which means let Baal take action. We see a lot of these names become characteristic of the story and of the action that the characters are taking place. So Gideon had taken that action, so now he's given the name Jerubbaal, meaning let Baal rebuild the altar. We'll see now what happens to Gideon.